Hey everyone, and welcome to our director's commentary for the big BFX finale. So we're gonna do this in real time. Without further ado, roll it! Okay, first up is the modified logo. I wanted to transition from the newest one to this old retro one.
That was a good touch, and that was actually something that you added like at the very last second. It was like that morning it was going up.
So this is original BFX first episode footage, and then in there is your magic.
Yeah, I motion tracked that screen with the old footage, and then we rack focus onto Erik's face now, which is pretty crazy. And a lot of people, you were scared, you were worried that it was going to be a gross difference.
Yeah, but everyone was like, how'd you do that? I can't believe. So apparently I age well.
People thought it was like a special effect. They're like, what kind of effects did you... Like, we shaved Erik's face.
And the same shirt. And you just saw that motorcycle we rented was really awesome in San Francisco, and then you could see like the BART going by in the background. That was
I was yelling production value. It's like, production value, Erik, rolling, production value.
And
BART train.
Here comes the big step. Oh!
Thanks to Nick for making the CG sword, and Raleigh gave us the great idea of doing the POV shot there.
Yes, that was his.
Erik was wearing his glasses in that side-by-side shot, and that's why he had to zoom it in.
The weird crop.
Yeah, I guess.
Chris coming back, and then what was something else that's good? So we also, in the left corner there is Raleigh, who played my body double, both in the jacket and with the plaid shirt. So whenever you see an Erik over-the-shoulder shot, it's actually Raleigh's shoulder.
Those bombs,
which were, you saw in the behind the scenes, were Iron Man arc reactor chest pieces that we just spray painted silver. And we had such beautiful light in this backyard. It was overcast. And
the entire shoot, every time we shot, it was overcast. It was perfect. Like, it was very consistent. And the sun was peeking out at the end, but really you can't even tell.
And the first of our transport effect that Ian Brown did for us, which is awesome, our time travel, and then Gary's quick cameo. He was supposed to be holding a copy of Rebel Without a Crew, but we couldn't get it in time.
Yeah, we couldn't. Like, we were looking at Target. Target did not have any copies of that.
And there's that little flicker.
That was a nice little touch at the end. There's a lot of things that we just did really at the last second here, because it took so much time to shoot, and it was so frantic at the end, and we were exporting until moments. It was just so, my heart was just pounding to get the thing out.
I want to point out that Zach Finfrock actually has that sign on his door. That's not set dressing.
His actual name.
And this is a great scene with him and Julian. The Wayside guys were great at improv stuff, and there were a lot of things that, like, we thought everything he did was funny, but some things were like, yeah, we'll leave this in, and then we actually did a live screening before we aired it the night before, and all their parts, people just busted up. They just, It
was so crazy, because we screened it before, like at 8:30 or 9 the day before we posted it, and it was kind of nerve-wracking, because then, too, we were exporting just to get a version out, and to watch something with a live audience is so, even though, videos that, like, Erik's put up that millions of people have seen, to see in a room with 10, 15 people is just a whole different experience.
A lot of toothbrush sounds. And
how about this scene?
It was pretty. So originally there was supposed to be a cutaway to Giles, but we got it last minute, and so we ended up just putting his voice in. And there was also potentially going to be a longer middle scene right after this, before Zach gets into the garage, with a lot more of like the familiar faces from the kind of the Wayside tenure from BFX. But it's just the timing and the scheduling. We couldn't get it together in time, so you just kind of see this jump cut from he leaves and now he's in the garage. And then we cleaned that up. We had a bunch of like awesome interns and PAs come in, not interns, PAs come and help Wayside clean their garage.
Which was a mess.
And we did this with 3 airy lights. I think it was a 600, a 350, and a 150. And that great, so I think on the right, that's probably the 300. And this great line of light in the background that I'm about to walk into is just it's the 650, but there was an old mattress in like propped up in the garage that accidentally kind of cut the light in half. We're like, oh wait, maybe we can use this, sort of cut half my face off, and it turned out pretty good. And you had to actually go in here. This was like too contrasty, right? You had to go in and bring up some of the blacks.
Yeah, it was pretty stark. One thing that really you can see the smoke swirling around there. It's really tough to keep the smoke from to keep the smoke funnel effect. Like there it looks fine, and have it not be swirly. And so it was such this shoot. It was so hot in that garage.
It was really hot.
Everyone was dying. And, it was just tough to get the smoke like I wanted it to, but oh well, most people don't notice that, probably.
Digital zoom right there, or was that
digital
a
zoom?
Yeah.
Tiny, like even zooming at 3% really slowly just adds a lot of tension to a scene.
I wonder how many like Hollywood movies add that in post.
That's a fair amount too, because it's so small. Like you don't really lose that much image quality.
This is great. Before you had music, you could hear the leather of my coat like squeaking as I got real in and close. And then of course the Wesley Scoggins line, which was
blogger Wes Scogg.
Yes.
How long has he been blogging?
He's been blogging for Indie Mogul since the very beginning, and he's an awesome guy. So we love to throw that little Easter egg in there.
More body doubles here.
Yep. So anytime you see Zach's shoulder, it was actually was that Derek?
Yeah,
it was Derek. Who we're constantly changing clothes with our body doubles. It's pretty funny.
But what's crazy?
That's Derek on the right,
and he doesn't have a goatee,
yeah.
right? You can just sort of tell. And there was supposed to be a scene there where the two Zachs look at each other and Vince makes a joke.
Oh, that was...
I'll put a shot of that scene up on the screen for you guys to see. It never made the final cut, but it looked cool. Funny. It just didn't make the final cut. Who is this guy?
I don't know, some loser. I just want to point out that I was pretty impressed with my jump there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Into frame. I didn't think that was going to read. So this is Bobby Miller, and we got to quickly tell the story behind this. Well, you kind of saw that in the behind the scenes, but basically this is the first thing we shot in L.A. It's 10 a.m., and Bobby didn't necessarily need to drink that box wine. He needed to put it in his mouth, and I don't know. He drank too much, and then we ended up having to like redo all his takes after about 8 takes.
We switched locations. The dog was barking.
A loud dog, and so he got pretty. He maybe got drunk. On that box
I think he
wine.
definitely got drunk.
And then it was such a shame that, it made sense to cut his barfing scene, but he did the fake barf so many times.
With, you brought cream of mushroom soup, which was so not barf looking.
So this was a great location. We shot my angle 3 blocks away in a much less crowded area.
You can tell the color of the sidewalk's different. I noticed that when I was editing. It drove me nuts. This is like a dark marble.
And
that's light.
Well, see, you're the only one. I thought it's that one shot in the beginning when you see me over Mike's shoulder that totally sells it.
Right.
And but we were always had to be conscious of the sword. And so this was near Hollywood Boulevard. We got that great painting on the shutters. So for them, we could shoot them. They didn't have any weapons.
Yeah. The issue with the sword is that if Erik has a sword and he sees other people, he has to cut them in half.
It's just my thing. So this person died right after in the background. But I just love this shot with the postcards in the background.
All of Chad's reactions in that scene were hilarious.
So good.
Really funny. And Mike's little look up is great, too.
And this is great. This is also around the corner, just in this alley.
Adding some sirens.
And it was a week later. This is in Brooklyn. Right.
How hot was it?
This was it was 98 degrees, but with humidity, it felt like 105. This is right in front of Justin's apartment.
Imagine what it felt like inside that beard.
Oh my god! And then we had all these. Some of these girls we knew. Some of these just responded to a friend's email in 2 hours' notice.
It's good we have this scene because otherwise there'd be no girls at all in the finale.
Exactly.
Tragic Indie Mogul sausage fest.
So you'll see, I don't know if you can see more and more sweat, sort of me getting more and more heat stroke as the shoot, because we did this around midday, the hottest part of the day. And then here's our fake cemetery, which I'll tell you about in a second.
It's my favorite warp-in.
And
that one's
totally
badass.
And this is probably 3 to 5 p.m., also very hot. And this is in Prospect Park in Brooklyn. And this is a totally fake graveyard. That the stone you see right here in the corner was our hero headstone, which was like a $25 Halloween store headstone, which we did Photoshop to put Justin's name on. And then all the headstones in the background are literally just like foam core.
So crazy.
Cut into tombstone shape and then spray painted sloppily with gray. And then we hammered them into the ground.
You hammered them into the ground? Did anyone see this happening?
Well, it wasn't a real hammer. We forgot a hammer, so we had to use another log.
Wow.
And then to stick them in the ground, they were like paint stir sticks that we had sharpened and zip tied. So it was if you look closely, you could probably see the tombstones wiggling in the wind a little bit. But
those are just the ghosts emitting from them.
It totally sells, and it's they're going to be out of focus, so it's all good. So
it's some serious DIY stuff, and that's all you need, though.
Yeah,
you just think, tombstone.
Those are all made by Ian Brown and and Anthony Rose like right before we ran out there, and we were all the next day we all felt so hungover because
so crazy dehydrated.
Yeah, and that coat was just ridiculous. So now here's the awesome the ones we picked for the viewer submitted, but this was maybe half of
this
the
is about
submissions.
a minute 30, and then the original you gave me was 3:30.
And that was still only not even like we didn't even get to include everyone.
Kiwi,
we forgot Kiwi.
Should have been in there.
Should have been in there. I take responsibility for that. But this is the part where we're hoping that all of you guys are crying.
Yep, weeping openly.
And I had done a very bad version of this visual effect in Final Cut, and then Justin went and redid it all. And
very slow,
very
3D push in on the screen.
If you'll notice, it's almost, unless you're looking for it, this portal started out a lot smaller, and now you can see it slowly coming at you.
I love the subtle slow zooms.
Yeah.
How many submissions came in for these?
80. We got
80. That's pretty awesome.
At least 80 submissions in their back end, and it was pretty short notice, and it was great. So
it was just, you were like, oh man, I still have to edit this viewer thing. I hope people sent things in, and then you're like, oh my god, there's so many in there.
Yeah, it was.
Which
great.
is a testament to how awesome all the viewers are, all the fans of Indiemogo. And this stuff is crazy. Like some of the comments were amazing. People are like, I got into film school because of BFX, and someone's like, me and my stepdad are friends now because we build BFX props together. It's like really amazing. Also, there's no girls.
Right. Well, there was one girl, but it was a great submission, but it just it didn't fit with the pacing of everything else. But thank you, one girl who submitted the thing. And what was the other thing I was gonna say? I forgot.
And we're back to Zach. Think of it.
I don't know.
Oh, the staple.
Sweating. Oh, yep. So you can see my eye patch broke twice. I forget where the first one happened. I think from the heat, it was like the glue was coming off that held this thing in. And so the staple was added in front of your house with Steve, and then actually you'll see halfway through this take, you can't quite see, it's on the other side of my face, but then the other side of the thing got held in by a closed safety pin that, thank God, Ian Brown had in his backpack. Otherwise, because we were in the middle of this huge park, and like it was terrible.
Yeah, that would have been brilliant with fake tombstones everywhere.
Oh my god.
Yeah, anytime anything didn't match up, it was just time ripples. We would always blame time ripples.
Yeah, there's it affects time and space, and reality is blended.
Right.
So this shot is great. I'm actually on my knees for that. So that was Ian Brown's idea of the no budget dolly, and he just extended the tripod to maximum height and then just kind of like tipped it back.
Pretty genius.
And
it looks great.
And because of the depth of field, can't tell that I'm on my knees instead of standing up.
Here we are back.
There's the Michael Bay shot with the Bart again and that sweet motorcycle.
Yep, nothing. I didn't key anything on, or didn't motion track anything out of that, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah,
God, you're terrible.
I know.
And then this is me working out all my internal issues, decapitating myself for the second time.
I like that shot of Chris.
Yeah, Chris. I'm always
He's
impressed
got a
with
subtle
Chris.
thing.
He's good, and the great thing is that reflects his own. I mean, it's not like that's how he is in real life too, but usually people that are kind of shy in real life are like, you can't even look at him on screen. So of course, thank you for the Mogulers, and that was epic. We had a ton of fun shooting it. It was
an ending with the first shot, like a very circular script was written there, so it was very fun to do.
And it was not only did the story and start and end in the backyard, just like the show, but the BFX as a whole started and ended in the backyard in the same place.
Yep.
So there's many levels of circles going on and murdering yourself.
And you sacrificed a goat before you shot the first episode, and we sacrificed a goat for the last episode.
It was good. That was all the fake blood. And
special thanks to Griffin, who was assistant editor on this and helped do the rough assemblies. It's like so crucial to getting this done because we shot and edited all of it in 2 weeks.
Here comes the sneak ending. Stevie
the
Six.
Robot.
That's the robot from the father-son episode. And this is epic. So, you emailed these guys, and this was Justin's idea to put this in. It's so good. The music is so good. And
that stinger in.
and we had actually never talked to them before.
Ever.
And there was like this imagined beef, but I think, we imagined there was both mutual respect. And they were the coolest guys, and they sent us out to shot it and sent it out to us in
a couple days.
4 or 5 days. And it's just, they're so funny. I just love like everything.
The guy
about
in the
this
back
is
row.
great. Yeah.
I don't know. Just to have them cameo in the very last moment of the last episode.
Yeah.
It just seemed right because we never even talked before that. Like even
we're both
had
too busy
correspondence.
making tutorial episodes.
I mean, it was really good to see all the comments because when we were even uploading it and posting it, we're like, we hope that it's like a good tribute to the end of something that's been going on for 3 years. 4 years?
Over 4 years.
And what was so great about shooting this was that there are so many things that were so true to BFX. It wasn't like a big budget. It wasn't like a big budget thing. The most expensive thing was just getting us out to all these locations.
Yeah.
But like,
and the
very DIY the whole way through.
I would say we probably spent like a little more than we would a normal test film, but it was definitely like, the fake head. I was literally saw in the behind the scenes. I'm like pasting on Donald Trump hair like at the last second,
So gross.
And the smoke machine was the same smoke machine that we always use.
Something's on fire in here. Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, in also classic BFX fashion, this came together last minute. So it was
Very
like,
much. You're writing the script like the Thursday before we left, right?
I was finishing touches.
Yeah, right. Starting touches.
So, we were 2 weeks before it aired was when we started shooting, and then we notified Jared, and he was like, "Oh, I leave for vacation, like, in a few hours," So it's like,
So we tried.
I have a crazy idea for a contest for this video.
A contest for this video
This
they're watching
video
now?
they're watching right
oh my
now.
gosh.
So I have the original script, my shooting script for this finale.
They've made it to the end, clearly, if they're watching this entire thing.
And it's but it's like mangled, and there's all the scenes are crossed out. There's even like fake blood and stuff on it.
Wow.
It's like, it is Benson.
Perhaps real blood, too.
Yeah, who knows? Certainly tears. I would love to mail that to someone. Okay, so after a long discussion, we figured out what the contest is.
It's a Facebook contest.
That we just decided. It's a Facebook contest, so what you have to do if you want my original mangled script, I think it even says Eric's copy on the front, with the blood, is go to our Facebook page, and you have to like us on Facebook, The Indie Machines.
We want 1,000 fans.
Yes.
We know it's possible.
So go there, like us. It's like 2 clicks. We're going to pick randomly one of our Facebook fans, and we'll get your address, and we'll mail you this script and some Indie Mogul stickers or something.
Yes.
That's the contest.
That's the contest. And then you can see Jared's part, too.
Yeah, Jared's part's in there. All the cuss words are in there.
Like us.
It's in the description.
Just like us. And, might as well tell your friends to like us, because we want to get 2,000 by the 15th. We can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys, that's it.
Thank
We're going
you.
now. Bye-bye.